Okay, so in lesson 3, we just created an order entry, which is basically an order to make a trade in a market. We have a ticket, and we're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna show you. This is called Oanda's FX trading. This is also what is called a practice um, platform. And then they have what is called a live account as well. So right now we're in the practice. Now in the practice, you see I have a balance right here of $100,000, and I don't want you to. It's not real money. This is what they call a simulator platform. And as you can see, I have been practicing some trades because I've actually made what you have right here is the value. You have the unrealized profit. Usually is when you're trading, you can have an unrealized profit and or loss. So it's what it is basically if you're in a trade and you're losing money, it's an unrealized profit because you haven't closed out that trade yet. But when you do close out, it becomes what is called a realized profit, right? And the realized profit is right here, okay? And they have margin alerts, and a margin alert is basically alerting you that hey, because you can be on what is called 50 to 1, 20 to 1, and we're going to show you how to do all that. Where there's leverage within this trading, they give you leverage. I recommend you probably stay with about 20 for right now. Um, the Federal Exchange Trades Commission, they do allow what is called 50 to 1 in America, basically. In other countries, their platforms give you 100 to 1. So every $100 you make, that $100 can be 10,000, or 1,000 is 100,000. So however it is, whatever amount you have in it that's worth those um, points of entry price, points of interest and price. Okay, so and that's called PIPs, PIP, right? So I just want to kind of take you through so you can kind of see. Right here is the connection, and this is just basically allowing you to, if you want to disconnect, if you want to lock, basically lock so it prevents you from touching anything because this is case sensitive. If you touch it, you might make a wrong trade, especially if you're in. They have another part of this that allows you to do what is called speed trading, where it's just a buy and sell. You hit the button and it buys, you hit it, and you close out of it and get out of there and things like that. You can have multiple trades at once, and so that's locking it to prevent you. And then it's the quick, another way of saying turn off. So you see right here it says advanced charting. I want to click on that right quick, and what we see is, like example is here is a buy and sell, right? But what are you looking at? What are we noticing about what we're seeing here? This is actually a trading view chart pattern. See how easy it is to navigate this particular chart because you've been working with this chart setting up your order entries. You can actually put your charts in this particular app and you don't have to go to TradingView. But however, what did I tell you earlier? If you were on a football team playing another opponent, why would you give them your playbook? I do not place my charts and setups in this particular app because if I have to leave this brokerage company, guess what? They get all my charts. I have to rebuild them. So that's why it's important to take and place your charts in a separate from your brokerage account. Okay? Then we have technical analysis. You can tap that and it'll give you terms and conditions and technical analysis and things of that nature. However, it has auto chart lists and things of algorithms and stuff like that. But guess what? We are doing technical analysis and we're doing our own. This is what we're learning, technical analysis of the market. We don't need them. We're not going to have no automatic computer telling us how to set up. So we don't need that. Let me open that back up. We don't need them, right? And then we have one thing that can be a benefit is the news, right? and that's good to have. That's good to learn. I mean, because there is even though we do we we're learning how direction of our market, and we make our trades based off of what we're seeing right here within the chart. But however, there is times where there's certain types of news that can affect your charts. You may want to stay out of trading during that time. That's just a rule that you need to learn. So if you look right here, we're right now in the British US dollar, so we would probably want to look around and see if there's anything that may affect our trade. US index bounces back, that's a good thing, right? Global forex and forex income rounding up, okay, that means it's rallying up, rounding up for what, a powerful move. All right, we see that in our charts, right? So these are stuff that you can look at, but I would not allow you to get too deep into this information. I don't rely, I usually use the IBD, Investors Business Daily. Again, I separate my news even from this particular platform. I have my own separate news, I have my own separate charts, I have my own separate brokerage. Okay? But there is times where this news could be in line because remember, we don't think like the sheep, huh? We think like the what? The banks. So who's putting this information out? I'm just saying. You do the adding and subtracting, students. Do the adding and subtracting. Don't believe everything you hear either. But there is certain things. The federal government interest rate, new president. I talked about that in one of the chapters. Various different things that we should consider. You know, um, inflation, interest rate, um, and all those good things. Okay. Okay, so then we have what is called Market Pulse. Um, there's a place where you can get information. You can see, signals and information like this. Whether or not, again, I don't use any of this. Um, but if they're saying something that goes in accordance to your charting, then you might want to rely on it. But what if you read it and it doesn't, and it goes against what your charts are doing? Okay, this keeps coming off. So, and then we have what is called economic analysis. I don't believe that this chart will open up. Yeah, it says sorry, but this page you're looking for doesn't exist. I don't know why. So let's close out of that. I don't know why it's also keep closing me out. It shouldn't do that. Then we said trade with real money, right? And now the beauty of trading with this particular one, let's tap on it. Sign up, right? And it's telling you to open up account and stuff like that. So I just want to kind of touch down on that because that's important because it allows you to have two different accounts, your live and your practice. So you may want to share your computer. You may want to, for whatever reason, have someone do some work on your computer, or you may want to be doing work on someone else's computer, you know, and it's good to know that your live account is separate, which requires a separate password. And I recommend you put two different passwords, one for your practice, one for your live account, right? So then now let's go to this section that says account, right? So here's where you can say buy or sell, right? You tap the buy and look, guess what it does? It gives you an order. This is called market order, and this is called order entry. Now, a market order is basically you're getting in where the market is right now. So, you remember where we would tap here or we would look right here on this particular candle and we could see where it was the open high low information and you can see it right here. It's right there. Let's look at it. See when I tap on this candle, right now it's open high low. It closed at 1328, right? So when we go to this account, right, and we say buy or sell, it gives us the ability to do that. We can hit here for sell or we can hit here for buy. But a market order gives us, see where it says where it closed at 13,328? You're getting in exactly where the market is. Now, keep in mind, when you get in there, usually you're only getting in there because you missed your target and you know the market is moving. It's in a, and usually a lot of people do this when it comes to the 15-minute or the hour advanced trading. I recommend just simply doing an entry order is what we're doing right here. Then you go back to your paper. We know we're in the right market. That's the first thing we did because we wrote it down. GP, GBP, USD. How much money did we want to put in? What we say, 100,000. So we're going to do that. We just got 100,000 in there. Now the rate, I don't mess with it. I don't bother it. I don't think it's a big issue. Um, Therefore, it's not a concern to me. All I want to do is what I tell you. I want to buy. I want to take profit. I want to stop loss or possibly trailing stop. Right? Okay. So we have that, and this right here, usually it's always within 1 week right here when you open it up. I just put it on a month, because even though I know that I'm not going to be in the trade no more than 2 weeks, I prefer putting it right at a month. So just in case I have to hold this, or if it goes past 1 week, that will kick you out. And so it's always pay attention to this. And we got it on price, right? We have it on price, but you also see what? We see pips, the word pips, percentage in points. That's what pips mean, percentage in points. So you can see things changing over here. Sometimes, I mean, it's really the same, but it's just what it is percentage in points represents it's like a tiny measure of the change in the currency pairs in the forex market. So it can be measured by terms in quotes or terms in the underlying currencies. So a pip is also a standardized unit. It is the smallest amount by which a currency can be changed. So I like dealing with price because then I see how much money I made, where I'm going to make, what kind of ideal, and all that type of stuff. Okay, so we got that. Next, what we're going to do is we wanted our take profit. Where do we put our take profit at, right? First, let's do the stop loss. I like to do that first because just in case I miss it, I know it's there. And we put our stop losses, I believe, at 1.29940. So let's change that. 1.29940. Okay, 1.29940. Okay, so we got that. So let's do our take profit, right? And we wanted our take profit at 1.34589. So let's do that. 1.34589. Okay. Now, what do we have right here? Right? So we're looking at take profit. That's the beauty. I think, yeah. Okay, so yeah. So when we enter this in, and I, at this point, am not going to do a trailing stop at this point. But remember, I told you that there is trailing stops that if once it hits the market, as it hits our what is called a resistance level. But just in case it pulls back again, this trailing stop will kick you out. We're just going to place this right now and work with the take profit stop losses. I like to use what is called mental stops. But when I'm doing that, I'm trading in the hourly or the 15 minutes. And secondly, I'm also watching the market with my own eyes. Mental stops. Good question. So what do we see right here? Right? We see that our points of interest in price is what? $10 of US money. That's what it costs. Right? We have a take profit. Right? We're talking 230 pips, right? 230 pips times $10 is $2,300. Our stop loss, right? Here's our stop loss, right? The trade value, right? 132,000. Even though we got 100,000 margin required, $6,633.13. So we have to have that much. But if you have $6,000 and you have a leverage of say 20 to 1, that should cover it. That should actually cover it, right? Okay, so we don't need to keep the window open, right? And we know that this is a buy. Remember, buy low, sell high, right? And we're just dealing with the high and low. So we got all this information in, right? And we just need to, I believe, hit this buy right here. And let's see what happens. Well, it's not doing it. I don't know why. Oh, okay. I see what's happening is we can't see the rest of this. There is some things down low. And I believe it's this window right here. You just can't see it. I hope that, I'm sorry, I apologize, but I'm just going to try to see if I can click on it. Okay, trade entry orders will not appear in the Metatron return. Would you like to continue? I hit OK. All right, server accepted order entry, ticket number, number of units, and then hit OK. What just happened? We just placed an order. And we can see this little blue deal right here. And then you tap on it, you'll see it. Modify, it gives you the chance to cancel it, modify order details. Modify order details, and we can tap on it, and it just popped our order up. How about that? So there's more than one way to get into your order entry. You should see it also right here in the ticket position. Now it's considered an order, right? So if you tap here, you'll see it. Now once this order gets executed, it becomes a position. Congratulations. You just made an order. You just made a trade. Now all we have to do is sit and wait.